One of the most terrifying survival stories I've heard is that of James Grimes, who just a couple of years ago, this is a true story, for Thanksgiving, he and his family, there were about 20 people, they wanted to treat themselves that year, so they decided to all go on a cruise ship. Well, the first night, James goes to the bathroom and he never comes back. Turns out he mysteriously passed out, fell overboard, and the cruise ship just went away. He suddenly wakes up in shock, instinctively treading water. It's pitch black outside. Everywhere he would look, or at least as much as his eyes could make out, all he could see was water, all he could hear was water, an eerie sound of waves surrounding him in every direction, and he starts to panic. I mean, of course he does. I would panic, wouldn't you? But James remembered that in such critical situations, it's important to keep your breath constant, so he forced himself to take deep, regular breaths. He was terrified of sharks. Just every couple of minutes, he was sure that something was bumping against his leg, but miraculously, as the hours were going by, nothing was actually biting any of his legs, so he just kept treading water, treading water. He knew that all he had to do was survive until hopefully someone figures out that he's not on the ship anymore, which his sister actually did. She went up to the crew and said, "Hey, my brother went to the bathroom hours ago and he didn't come back. That's very uncharacteristic of him." So the ship turned around, started looking for him. They radioed to other ships in the area to also look for him. A huge rescue operation was put into place. Everybody was looking for him, but he was thirsty, he was hungry, he was tired, and he managed to survive until the sun came up. But then he had another problem. All that exposure to the sun left him with severe sunburns all over his skin. He actually came up with the idea of shouting out his daughter's name, telling her, promising her that he would simply not let go. He was not going to pass out because he knew that would be the end of him. And as the sun went down and night came back in the distance, one of the ships that was looking for him actually managed to find him. They tried throwing a lifeline to him, but the current was just so strong that it just couldn't grab onto it. Attempt after attempt after attempt, and he was exhausted by this point. But because they had found him, a helicopter was sent, and finally, after many difficulties, one of the lifeguards got down to his level and managed to put his arm around him, and as they pulled him back up, he simply passed out. James Grimes had defied all odds in what to me is